They were still smarting after a dismal league campaign which ended in relegation, and if you're to believe chances, but when you look at that team you see a side of established performers who know how to rise to the big occasion. They've had to make changes though. Nigel Crawford and Paul Shanky come in for Donald Curtis and Hank Traynor. The big absence, John McDermott, Anthony Moyles and Nigel Nestor are in the middle. Des Dolan leads a very formidable Westmeath attack. They are Division 2 league champions, but they've never beaten Meath in the championship. But they really fancy this one today. Rory O'Connell and David O'Shaughnessy will try and get on top in the middle, while Paul Conway, Dolan and Ger Heaven provide most of the firepower up front for Westmeath today. Well, there's the referee for this afternoon's match, all the way from Cork, Niall Barrett. And we're underway in this Leinster Football Championship quarter-final. A local derby, Westmeath looking to bury a record which has haunted them since 1935. They have never beaten Meath in the Senior Championship. Straight away, a free kick to Westmeath. David O'Shaughnessy launching it in. Doesn't get much height on it. Cormac Murphy across for it, but Westmeath looking to capitalise. Can they get a goal inside the first minute? Yes, they can. Ger Heaven, the captain, the player who capitalises on some sloppy Meath defending. And they have just made an absolutely terrible start. Westmeath making a fantastic start. And any nerves they had, I'm sure, are gone at this stage. That was Cormac Murphy coming across to try and get to it. Paul Conway was there as well, and Heaven, well, didn't need asking twice. Great score. Brilliant opening for Westmeath, and that will be a big shock to Sean Boylan and company. Paul Conway up under that, a big tall presence. It breaks again to Heaven, looking for another point. Well, Ger Heaven is the thorn in Meath's side at the moment. 10 minutes played. What about that for a scoreline? Westmeath 1-3, Meath no score. He's doing most of the damage. Towards Richie Keeley. They're not able to win anything in the air. Rory O'Connell and David O'Shaughnessy very much in control around the middle for Westmeath. Ger Heaven playing out of his skin. Lovely layoff to Michael Ennis. Ennis getting away from Paddy Reynolds and still going. Support inside. Dolan behind. Ennis has a go himself. That is a fantastic point from Michael Ennis. And you just wonder, do Westmeath believe that they can beat their near neighbours and their great rivals? 1-4-0 score, 11 minutes into the match, and well, his run started way out the field, almost from halfway. Paddy Reynolds could get nowhere near him. Lovely turn inside, great shot, great point. Evan Kelly, who always does so much work to help out his half-back line, having to do more today. Anthony Moyles filling the quite considerable boots of John McDermott, who's watching this match in the stand today. Evan Kelly back inside now to Graham Geraghty. Moyles inside and Geraghty has a go himself. That's a good point for Meath and from Graham Geraghty. At last they play some of the football we know they can. Only their second point of the game, 17 minutes in. Paul Conway hasn't seen it in the last 10 minutes. Great block by Enda McManus. That will lift Meath. Darren Fay with the early clearance. Good play from Anthony Moyles. Moyles been closed down by Rory O'Connell. Inside to Evan Kelly. This is better for Meath. Inside to Geraghty. Has to score. Brilliant stop by Cathal Mullen, the goalkeeper, but it's still not clear. Ollie Murphy with the delicate one back into Geraghty. They're queuing up for it. Westmeath somehow get away with that. An unbelievable passage of play. Meath should have had a goal. Westmeath having trouble clearing the ball. Paddy Reynolds fouled as he went through by Fergal Wilson. Westmeath will be relieved they didn't concede a goal, but Trevor Giles may yet punish them. Seems to be hitting these quite well today, gives that one more welly, and again it drops short and into the arms of Rory O'Connell under a lot of pressure from Ollie Murphy, and not a great clearance by O'Connell, but he did put it out of play and out of danger for the moment. Ollie Murphy did hit that very well indeed, and it's a goal. It's Graham Geraghty. Cathal Mullen, the goalkeeper, caught in two minds. And what a turnaround. Meath are right back in this game. 5 minutes before half-time, and the crowd at Croke Park starting to come to life. Well, this could be the key score in the game. Ollie Murphy was going for the point. It dropped short, and Geraghty, great full forward play, followed it in all the way. You see, Rory O'Connell was there. He just couldn't rise high enough. Geraghty, seen him score many of those here before. Niall Barrett gets this second half underway. You can only imagine what went on in the dressing rooms. Westmeath, having made a fantastic start, now with only a 2-point advantage. I'm sure Sean Boylan had one or two choice words to say to his team, who have not been playing well. Ger Heaven has been playing so well for Westmeath. Gets away from Cormac Murphy, hangs it up there, and it goes over the bar. Cormac Sullivan powerless to do anything about that, and Heaven picking up where he left off at the end of the first half. 3 points clear. Paul Shanky looking for that. Now it's Donald Curtis, who wasn't fit enough to start the game. Ollie Murphy brilliantly marshalled by John Keane. David O'Shaughnessy. Ger Heaven the target, giving Cormac Murphy a torrid time. Michael Ennis. Nigel Leinster, the player, tracking him back. It's Des Dolan having to come out to get possession, and again going by Mark O'Reilly very easily. Dolan just floats it over. That's a great point for Des Dolan. His first of the game. Well worth waiting for. 2 minutes gone in the second half. 4 points, their advantage. Evan Kelly looking to get to that. Anthony Moyles. That's Paddy Reynolds. Brian Geraghty out in front of David Mitchell. Lovely layoff to Giles. This is good Meath football. Ollie Murphy. Well, that's the best point of the game. Best football, certainly, that Meath have played. Ollie Murphy finally opens his account. They're back within 3. Great team score this was. Giles, direct football. Lovely finish from Ollie Murphy. Meath still struggling to get into any sort of rhythm. Played a challenge match against Limerick last Saturday and lost that too. Good run forward by Brian Morley. Now Des Dolan. Dolan has Michael Ennis in space. Ennis puts it over, and he was caught just as he kicked that over. Well, is this to be their day? 5 points their advantage. Ennis gets his second of the game. All set up by Brian Morley. And then Des Dolan spotted Ennis free. Just watch as he stroked this over. He was hit pretty late. Flanagan. Flanagan getting away from the Meath cover pretty easily, not able to get away from Evan Kelly, but he gave away the free. Now here's Ennis again. Paul Conway, chance of a goal. They take the point instead. Well, they haven't been able to beat Meath since 1935. They now have a 6-point cushion, which, well, it may not be much. A couple of goals will wipe it out pretty quickly, but they're making opportunities and taking them rather easily. Conway's first point. Well, it's 18 years since Meath lost consecutive Leinster Championship matches. They went out the first day against Offaly last year. Geraghty trying to drag them back into this match. Good turn, that's his trademark, and that's a good point from Graham Geraghty. They're back to within 5. Got the crucial goal in the first half. Well, this is well worth another look. Donald Curtis setting it up. Geraghty out in front. Great finish, wasn't it? John Keane caught, and now here's Ollie Murphy. Good chance for them. Damien Healy came back against him. Murphy finds his mark and finds his range. His second point of the game. Just closes the gap. Martin Flanagan. For Westmeath, is this to be their day? 4 points clear with 15 minutes to go. Flanagan caught by Anthony Moyles as he tried to line that up, and the referee will call the St. Paul's man over. Moyles could be in real trouble here. Flanagan still down on the ground out of picture. And it's a red card for Anthony Moyles. It seemed to take Niall Barrett an eternity to decide what to do. Here's the challenge, and here's why Meath have been dealt a huge blow. and really you can have very little argument with that. Fergal Wilson to restore their 5-point cushion, which he does. All the noise coming from the Westmeath supporters. 1-14 to 1-9, 13 minutes to go. Nigel Nestor with the quick free. Meath needs something to happen. Pretty sharpish. Maybe Ollie Murphy can do that now. Murphy scored the goal. What about that? They are right back in this game. Just 2 points down. Out of nothing. Ollie Murphy changes things. Well, Meath teams are never easily beaten. Have a look at this again. Ollie Murphy, like his teammates, I'm sure, just doesn't know when to give up. Westmeath, though, well, they can't be happy with the defending. They seem to have that for a moment. It was Aidan Canning's mistake. Great finish from Murphy. Donald Curtis has Nestor inside him. Curtis deciding to go himself. But just look how Westmeath are swarming around the Meath players when they have the ball. They can't get close to Nestor, though, to narrow the gap still further. That's a brilliant point from Nigel Nestor. What a time to score your first. Just 10 minutes to go, and it really has all changed. They're down to 14 men, but they're this close, just a point behind. Here come Westmeath, just a point clear. Loose play, Evan Kelly pushed off it by Martin Flanagan. Flanagan started the game at corner forward. He's now down around half-back, so position's not meaning an awful lot. Short from Ray McGee to Graham Geraghty. McGee gets it back on his favourite left boot. And is that over? That's a glorious point from Ray McGee. They've got back on level terms with 5 minutes to go. What a comeback. Meath, so difficult to beat. Again, Ollie Murphy the target, and Murphy brilliantly takes it. Fergal Murray out of the game. Murphy's still going. Cullinan is free in the centre. Giles is there too. They go back to Ray McGee. Can they take the lead for the first time? Brilliant block by David Mitchell, but it's still not clear. Murphy. Referee's whistle sounds. Ollie Murphy hits the deck. And, well, I don't believe it. David Mitchell has got his second yellow card, so Westmeath are now down to 14. Mitchell sent off by Niall Barrett. Here's Ray McGee. That was a brilliant block down, first of all, by Mitchell. It came back to Ollie Murphy. Oh, well, I wonder about that. That looked pretty harmless from David Mitchell. He should not be sent off. Last minute of the game. What a pressure kick for Ray McGee. Can they take the lead for the first time? It hangs up in the air. It's going to drop short, though. Brilliant take. Fabulous defending, and Paul Conway comes away with it. Loose one. Paddy Reynolds takes it. Another free for Meath. Sooner or later, Meath will punish Westmeath for their indiscipline. But Trevor Giles, a player well used to pressure. Can he send this one over and give Meath the lead for the first time as we enter stoppage time at Croke Park? They really have played poorly, Meath. Only in fits and starts. Westmeath, do they deserve to win? Here's Giles to send it over. They lead for the first time. They are just so hard to beat. 2-12 to 1-14. 20 seconds into stoppage time, and now it's up to Westmeath to respond. Their possession now absolutely crucial. Giles trying to get to it. Damien Healy is there. David Hughes free to Westmeath. Sure they've settled for a draw at this stage. Remember, they were 6 points clear early in this second half. Healy launches it forward. Curtis tries to get to it. Here's Des Dolan. They won't have too many more chances in the game. It's dropped short. Here's Flanagan. Is there a goal in it for Westmeath? Ennis, oh, he's missed it. He's put it wide. Michael Ennis had a glorious chance there to level things up. Well, Dolan did a lot of hard work here. That was never going to go over the bar. Flanagan first of all, and watch Ennis just come into picture. He snapped at it, sent it wide. Here's Ger Heaven. Heaven inside to Fergal Murray. Graham Geraghty back there helping out, and he's lost possession. 4.5 minutes of stoppage time. Darren Fay launches it forward, and Meath have come back from the dead once more. Westmeath Their players down on the ground in absolute despair. A fantastic match. But Meath, well, they are never, ever beaten. And Westmeath will have to go into the loser's draw. Well, Sean Boylan has done it again. His team have risen from the dead. They're into the semi-final of the Leinster Championship. What a day for them. Heartbreak for Westmeath. Delight for their neighbours Meath. 212 to 114.
They started both halves very well, and they went a few good points ahead of you in both stages of the first and second half.
Yeah, they played some very good football, and there's some very good players, and they're well coached. And they were just delighted to win. A point in at the end, Westmeath had their chances, but it's just delighted to win the first round.
You know, everything seemed to be going against us. Playing a really, really good Westmeath team. This is no flash in the pan Westmeath team. This is a really, really good team. Really well prepared by Luke. And you know, to survive today, I think just the two goals, like the one that, second one that Ollie got, the first one that Graham got, that's what kept us in the game. But that's championship, and it's the ability to hang in, see it to stand to us today. And I'm delighted that we're still there and we get a chance to play against Kildare. He's got in a few weeks' time.
Yes, well, Westmeath certainly had their chance. I suppose it was Meath's experience in these kind of situations that managed to pull them through. Well, the other match at Croke Park this afternoon was the meeting of Kildare and Carlow. Kildare, the champions, but with a very low-key build-up to this summer's campaign. Carlow, for their part, had was acknowledged there in the interviews afterwards. They've been playing some lovely football lately, and they will feel very disappointed tonight.
Well, it was a big ordeal for them. I mean, stepping up, it's all very well playing well in the second division of the league, but it's a big ordeal to come up and play Meath with 13 All-Ireland medalists on show, and with all the ruthlessness that they have when it comes to the crunch. And again, you know, both times when it looked as though the game was going away from Meath, they ground it out. Yeah. And you could see them, the shoulders going out, and the Meath men saying, "Right, let's play a bit." Garrity calling for the ball in, and you could just see the old Meath machine starting. You picked out a little clip that kind of illustrates this kind of thing in the game. Well, it's Meath in a nutshell over the last 10, 15 years. Their ruthlessness, the flick of the switch, the man down, now it's time to start playing football. Now, Ollie Murphy, who wasn't great today, but there it is, you know, turned in a sixpence, and he's got such strong hands and arms, and he was able to hold them off and stick the ball in the net. Donald Curtis, very underrated, a great pass to set up. I think this left them 2 points behind, but at this stage it was all Meath, and for the last 10 minutes their performance was flawless. When it came to the crunch and Westmeath started to panic, there they are, you know, the ball sort of being given away, and this was for the equaliser. Now the ball being given away again, this one led directly to the free that won the game for Meath. And again, at that stage you would have thought there were 12 Meath defenders. Look at them swarming all around them there like bumblebees. And the difference really at the end of the day was Meath's clear-headedness when it came to the crunch as against Westmeath's panic. And, you know, you never send a boy to do a man's job, and you have to take your hat off to the Meath men and say they're great men when it comes to the crunch, and they've always been the same, and it's either in you or it's not. Yeah, well, it's certainly in them. There's no question about that, gentlemen. Thank you very much for the moment. Now we're going to head
for all year. We've trained the last 8 months for this, Marty, and you know, it's a great feeling, unbelievable.
It's his Roscommon's day, and they fully